afternoon, everyone. To have a little art chat with you. I hope that the recording is going. It always says it's waiting to start. This is all I didn't even make him come. He's not paid very well, but here he is, right on schedule, as promised. Okay, now my video seems to have. This is the weirdest program. There we are. 13 seconds in. Okay, I hope this is recording. Ollie and I are here to have a little chat with you about creative fatigue. This is something that's very important because most of my students over the years has not recognized when they have become overcome with creative fatigue, what I call creative fatigue. The deal is, when I'm teaching, I often teach a 2-hour art lesson, and at about 1 hour and a half, I start paying very close attention to my students to make sure that they are not blanking out on me. The deal is that learning how to paint is an incredibly difficult task. And a lot of people think that painting is a great way to spend an afternoon relaxing, chill out, take it easy. And believe me, I can tell you that is definitely the truth. But learning to paint is no different than learning how to use a typewriter or a keyboard, or learning how to ski. Those early days of learning the rules and learning the theory is absolutely draining. And every single brush stroke you put on a canvas, you are not only deciding on a simple, let's put this color here. Picasso said once, and this is a paraphrase, but painting is easy as long as you put the right color in the right place. Well, he's partially right on that and partially not, because with every stroke you have to not only think of the color and the placement, but you also have to think about the value of the color, how dark it is and how light that color is compared to the color that's right beside it. You also have to think about the shape of that stroke and whether you want it to be a thin brush stroke or a thick brush stroke. You also have to decide whether you want it to be a soft edge or a hard edge or an in-between edge. So there are multiple decisions to make in every single brush stroke. So when you've been painting for as long as I have, those decisions kind of become somewhat automatic, and then you get into that wonderful state of everything falling into place and the brushes just flow, and it's that relaxing thing that everybody is hoping to get to. But in the learning stage, those glorious, easy moments are few and far between because there's so much to consider. And I was sitting there yesterday thinking about my chat today, thinking about when you're learning to type, and you have to literally think about where every letter A is and which finger has to go there and where the letter N is, and compare those thought processes to someone who has written an entire book on a keyboard. And when you're writing a book, you're not necessarily thinking about using your index finger to push the letter N when you're writing a book. You're not even thinking about the letters. Most good authors would think about not only the book, the paragraph, the chapters, etc. They're not even thinking about words. They're not thinking about the letter N. They are thinking about it as a whole. And eventually you will get there with your painting as well. But it takes a long time from learning where the letter N is on the keyboard to writing an entire manuscript. So don't give up. Keep at it. Keep learning. And another part of this process is to be very consistent and do daily practice. And I know a lot of people are busy and they come to art lessons once a week, and that's great. But when I was learning to paint, I didn't always paint every single day. I did do something art related every day though. Some days it would be just sitting reading an art book. Other days it would be going to an art gallery looking at paintings. Some days it would be painting, and other days it would be all the mundane, boring stuff, which included stretching my own canvases. My mentor Karen taught me that in order to really be a great artist, you really had to have a good understanding of your materials. And in her eyes, that meant stretching your own canvas onto the stretcher bars. And that was like a 2-day process. I won't go into it here because we're limited time, but it was huge. Nowadays, I know of any artist that stretches their own canvas. But that was, part of my learning stages. And when I wasn't painting, I was stretching canvases or reading or just being in the mindset of being in the art world. It's really, really important. And the other thing I want you to understand is the reason that this fatigue hits so many students is that a lot of people are left brained. And the left brain is language, it's math, it's vocabulary, it's words, all come from the left brain. The right brain is where the aesthetic side comes in, the creativity, the imagination, all of those things come from the right side. And you need to be able to switch back and forth when you're doing art, because art, a lot of it at this stage when you're learning, is theory, it's intellect and thinking about composition and things like that don't necessarily come naturally in the early stages. So when you are learning to use a part of your brain that you have used very little in your life, then it's going to be a little tiring. So give yourself a break. And when you've been painting for an hour and a half and you're a student, just go take a break, have a cup of tea, put your feet up, relax for a while, then come back and pick up the brush again, and you'll have renewed insight. You'll be able to see things clearer. It won't be such a fog and such a struggle. If you continue to paint when you are tired, you're going to just make mistakes and get even more frustrated. So I'm telling you, it's really, really good to be aware of when you are feeling that brain fog, because it happens to every one of us. And, as you paint more and are more consistent with your painting process and your painting practice, your painting days will become longer and you'll be able to stay more focused for longer periods of time. What else do I have to say? Yeah, 1.5 hours is generally the tipping point for most of my students. So be aware of when you are approaching that time. Daily practice. Yeah, I think I've kind of covered everything. I'm not sure who all is on here today. And if you have any questions, please do leave them in the comments here. I want to also mention that I am doing the Facebook Lives. I'm posting them in the Caprice Fine Art & Co. group. And I will share it to my page. But if you are watching this from the page, please do join the private group, as I have all of the past Facebook Lives in a guide at the top of the page. If you become a member of the group, you can click on guide and you can go back to all of the past art tips that I've done in the last several weeks. I can't remember if this is 4th or 5th one today, but I want you guys to be able to look back and refer to them at any time. And if you have any tips you would like me to discuss or any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments or send me a message. And I will gladly do a little spiel on whatever is troubling you. And I also want to invite everybody to please post pictures of their paintings or your stained glass or whatever it is you're working on. I really hope that you will use this page and this community to share your work. I want to be able to support other creative people and really get this community going much, especially now that, winter's coming and people are going to be at home a lot more. And this is a great space and it'll be a safe place. And if you have any good, interesting art facts or art connections, please do share those as well. And that's it for today. I am officially at 10 minutes and 20 seconds. And normally I keep yapping for longer than the 10 minutes. But today I think I've got it covered. And I do hope you enjoy it. And I hope that this little information will help you so that you keep doing your best paintings. Don't keep painting if you were tired. Take a break, have a cup of tea, go back later. All right. Have a great day, everyone, and I hope the sun is shining wherever you are. Okay, bye for today.